Hey, what's up over there? Are you ready?
Yeah, man, let's do this! I'm ready!
Alright, let's do this. Welcome back to part 2 of the nail polish tutorial. This time everything will be about lighting, and we will not only talk about lighting but also do it. And I have one very cool announcement for you, and this announcement is so amazing that I need a drum roll. Well, yeah, thank you, but
You're welcome, man.
you know, this might be a little bit too extreme for our listeners. Maybe you can do something a bit less, you know.
Okay, yeah, I know. Okay, no problem. I can try something else.
Thank you.
What about that?
Yeah, that is exactly what I wanted. Thank you.
Alright, thank you, man.
Man, this guy is nuts.
I'm still listening, man.
That's alright. Okay, where was I before he freaked out? Ah, yes. Okay, a special announcement that I have to make today is that I will give away something for free again. But this time, it is one of the advanced light maps. In particular, it is the Artistic Spotlight. The cool thing is that it enables you to work through this tutorial without buying anything, because for this tutorial I'm only going to be using this particular Artistic Spotlight. And if you examine our product of desire, you can see that on the left side is a hard gradient light. And guess what? Even that one can be created with this particular spotlight. I'm going to show you how. So hop over to Gumroad, get yourself the free sample, and then let's get going for part 2 after you have hit like and subscribe. Thank you, and let's go. Very well. So, dear guys, let's analyze our product shot in order to know where we have to place our lights in 3D. We can do this very easily here. I show you all the lights at once. So this is our light setup. We have one rather small light on the shoulder here, or let me take out all the others so you can see better what's going on. Very small light on the shoulder combined with a soft light that is going down the bottle, so we have something that looks almost like a gradient. We can do this with 2 spotlights very easily. I will show you how. Then we have this blue marked light. Here is a gradient, and you see 2 hard edges, which we don't have actually in our Artistic Spotlight, but it's very easy to simulate that effect, and I will show you how, and it will blow your mind away because it's so easy, and it's a great effect. It looks very, very nice. And this light is also like spilling over into this area here. You would see it like it's almost like coming from inside the bottle. And you could of course take that off with the transmission ray visibility, but why should you? I think it looks very nice. And then we have very obvious 2 very soft glows in this, at the bottom of this glass bottle. So this is actually everything. Not much more involved, or actually not anything more involved. Of course, I have done a little bit of retouching in Photoshop, but it was not very much. It was only to increase the contrasts a bit and to make the colors come across a little bit better. But that's it. So, and now I would say we go over to our blend file. This is the blend file, and the default material on our liquid is the #1nail, and you can change it to #2 final, because that is the actual final shader that I prepared for you. And if you look into the preview, you should see something like this. That's all right for now. Okay. So now let's prepare our scene so it is more convenient to work with it. At first I would change this viewport on the left to a 3D viewport, and I mostly use the middle socket. Makes it very easy to work with the lights, and on the right side I see the result, and that comes in very handy. Then you can delete all area lights, and you can go into this world setting and also take down the gradient texture in the background to 0. And everything that is left now are these little stars in the sky. Good. Then let's import the Artistic Spotlight. You can do this. Go over to File, down to Import, and then Images as Planes. And take the Artistic Spot.exr and import it. Here we have it. Now you will need a shader viewport as well, because we need to play around with the shader a little bit. So go into it, and I will get rid of all connections. Then I will connect color to emission. The base color I will take down to black, and also specular and roughness, we don't need that at all, so take this down. This should be enough for now, and if you increase the emission strength, you see the light is becoming lighter or darker depending on the power you put into here. So now I just place this behind or in front of my light, and you should already see there's something going on. So one thing that I like to do is I like to get rid of the black areas. So if I stack multiple lights onto each other, I don't see like black rims or black shades, because that would really mess the beautiful soft light setup up. So we can get rid of the black areas if we use the color channel or the color output and place it into alpha. But now you see the light changed completely, so I would also combine it with a color ramp, place it in between, and then I would take the right handle on the right and pull it over to the left until it's almost directly next to the black arrow, and that should do it for now. Alright, okay, one more thing is that I want to add a constraint. Go into the constraints, add a constraint, choose damp track, then you take this picker and pick directly onto our product. Now you see it is like it changed the orientation, and we need to choose the track axis -Z, and then you see the light is beautifully following our product, and it makes it much more convenient to work with, which is very nice. Alright, so I would say all preparations are made to set up our lights. Is there anything else? I don't think so. I think we can start. So drink something. That's important. And now let's start. Okay, the first light that I want to create is the shoulder light. Let me check where it is. Let me check. Here we go. So this is the first light that I want to do, because it's quite simple. So let's do it. I take this one and I place it. You know, you see here's the camera, make it a little bit smaller so you see better what's going on. It is a light coming from above, so I want to place it above, like on this, in this area, and I will also work with the scale a bit. You can change the transform orientations from global to normal, and then it's easier to work with the transformations if you hit S key and then, for example, X or Y. You see it's easier to work with the transformations of that. So I will do it like this, make it a little bit, take it a little bit into the, increase the length of it, like this. And with rotation and Z, you can always like rotate the light, and then you place it at some point where you light up the shoulder part here. I think the contrast is a bit too high on this one. Take this down a bit. And the emission I take down to 50. Then I make it a bit bigger. Maybe like this. Shouldn't be too big. Yeah, I think that should do it. So as you can see in my setup, I have placed this light over there. Here's the camera, so it comes from this area, and I think it lights up this shoulder very nicely. And I've taken down the emission strength to 20, and I think that should do it for now. Maybe I will adjust it later, but for now it should be okay. So now I take the exact same light, and with Shift D I copy it and I pull it down a little bit. And one thing you see maybe is that it now, like it looks a little bit strange, and that is because we need to tick off the visibility to camera. You find this under the here the visibility, the ray visibilities, and then you can take out this camera button, and then it should look good again. And then you can move it directly in front of the camera without messing with the camera at all. So that's very nice. And you also should click on in the material on this little 2, so you have a separate material. And if I change now the emission strength, it should not affect the other light that we already set. So let me think. I guess this light might be a little bit bigger. And here I will also take down the color ramp a little bit more to the right. I mean the white handle, so it becomes a bit more like a bit softer. I think that's good. And maybe even it will maybe even take the left handle, the black one, and put it a bit to the right, so it's not spreading so far. Maybe like this. Increase it a bit. Yeah, take it back a bit and make it bigger. I think should be a bit more over to the right. Maybe here. Like this. Yeah, I think it could be it. I will also take out the base plane. I don't like it for now because there's so much reflection going on, and you see this here, it's messing around. I don't like this. But I think this one is pretty close. This one is pretty close. I mean, you have to play around with these values. It's really, lighting is such an individual and dynamic process. It's hard to say do this and that and then it will look good, because it's really like, it's very dynamic, fine-tuning and yeah, adjusting it until it looks nice. For now I leave it as this. I think that is cool. So we have the first 2 lights, and yeah, that's not so bad. So now I will concentrate on this glow, because that's also very easy to achieve. You actually only have to place a little spotlight directly behind the product, as you would do it in product photography as well. And so let's do it. I take one of these, I take the big one, Shift D, and take it to the back side. Then I click again on this little 2 so to duplicate it, make it smaller. And then I place it in a way so we only see, make it smaller and see this glow down there, and you can move it a bit more into the product, closer to the product. It's still quite a big, and I will also take down the emission strength to 2 or 3. Yeah, this is cool. This is cool, this is cool. So, like this, I have a look at my reference. I think this is it. It's a bit bigger. Maybe change the scale a bit. So, increase the intensity a bit more. I think this is almost it. I think I can leave it like that for now. And of course we need a second glow on this side as well, so I need to copy it and just move it across a little bit, move it closer to the object, because you know it's directly overlapping and that is not very good. Move it a little bit closer, make it smaller, and try to simulate this effect here, but I think we already got it. It's really so easy. Actually, lighting is very easy. It's really, and it's fun because it looks very precious already. And don't forget to duplicate the material, and I will take down the intensity a little bit to like to 3. Yeah, maybe like this. I think that's good. What do you say? I say that's good. Yeah, somewhere there. So you see now, let me take out the other lights. Here. Here's my product. And here are two very soft glows. Very, very soft. And they should be only visible. Ah, okay, you see here's a little bit of a rim light now coming in, but yeah, this is also the same in my reference image, as you can see. So there's also a rim light, I guess it's coming from the glows. Didn't check that before, so yeah, I think that's okay. If I put the other lights into it, it is almost, yeah, it's very close. It's very cool. Great. Very nice. So take another sip from your coffee. And then let's put in the last light. The most exciting, of course. So I take this big one again from the front, and with with Shift D, I take it over to the left side. And now it becomes interesting. I will deactivate all the other lights so I can concentrate on this one. And now I need it to be very high, like this. So I click S and then Y, and then I pull it up. So it is very like going from the top all the way down to the bottom. This is the first step. So now, if you examine this light, you see there's a clear cut on the left side, and for that we simply have to cut our light into two parts, or actually we have to cut it in the middle, and we have to erase one of these two parts, because then we will have like a hard edge. Of course, it's actually very self-explaining, and since this light is placed on a simple mesh, on a simple plane, we can do this. You go into the edit mode with tab, you see, then you click Ctrl R, and if you now go on one of these edges, you can see that you can insert a cut. So, and you simply do this right in the middle. So I click once and then I hit escape. So now I have two planes. And now I take out one of these with X and delete faces. And now you see I have a very hard cut. That's actually it. Because, you know, like since these lights are placed on meshes, it's actually very easy to also shape them, to like cut them, to deform them. You also can like you can also bend the light if you want. That's very cool. And sometimes it's also necessary to create certain effects. So this is working for this one, but it's the false direction. So I will undo this and I will delete the other half of it. So now it's exactly right. And you see, this is actually the same effect as here on the left side. I only have to place it a little bit more into this direction, and it has to be closer to the object. So let me see, like here. Yeah, that's pretty close. That's pretty good. And now you see it starts to also spill over in here in the inside of the glass, but that's totally fine. That's not a problem. So I think, yeah, I will place it there. So make sure it is straight. So I think this is actually it for the one side. And now, of course, we have also another cut on the other side, which we have also to simulate. But that's also very easy. And for that, you simply go into edit mode again. Then you hit 2 and you select the left side. Yeah, not the side with the light, but the side where the light is like fading. And then you hit G twice. And now you can pull over the light to the left side. Now you see the magic happening. This is so amazing. You see that? Yes. Awesome. I will place it somewhere like here. And now you see, and the beauty of it is that on the left side, the light is of course more intense and way stronger than on the right side. And this really simulates like This simulates actually a softbox that you would use in photography, or a diffuser in photography, where you would place a light source on the left or on the right side, and the light is gradiating over to the other side, which creates very amazing and very like high quality effects. All those very high quality product images are actually made with some of these gradient effects. And this is the way you can do this. So now you have, although this is only a simple spotlight, you have actually created a very beautiful gradient, and I will make it bigger now. We'll pull it over to the left a little bit more with simply like hitting S and X. Oh, I got a call. But not now. Simply S and X. Pull it over. Make it bigger. I now also want to have this side here a little bit closer to the actual product. But because of the dam track, it's currently not possible. So you simply could take down the influence a little bit. You see, it would take it over. Or if that does not work in your case, you can also hit apply, like on the dam track, so it will apply the actual position. And then you can, then you hit R and Z, so you go into the global transform orientations, and then you hit R and Z, and so you tilt it a little bit over so it's closer to the product. And then you have this kind of an effect. I go back to normal in order to change the size of the canvas or of the light source. And I end up having something like this. And now I put all the other lights into it. And I think this looks awesome. Really? This is great. This is awesome. So of course you always can increase, don't forget to duplicate the material. Sometimes I forget this. And then you can of course increase or decrease the light strength a bit. And as I said, I did some post-production on it. I mean maybe I can increase the glows a bit more down there. I think these can be a bit more intense. Like for example like this, 8 and 4. Yeah, that's good. Or 5. That is okay. I think the right side, the big soft or light on the right might be a little bit too big now. So I will take it down a bit so we don't lose too much of our contrast. But that's actually kind of okay. And I think it's pretty close to our actual, to our reference. Let me check the reference. Show both of it at the same time. Let's see. Yeah, maybe like this. Yeah, that's okay. So yeah, if we compare this, I would say, yeah. I mean, if you would render this and take it over to Photoshop, you could, of course, put a little bit of a curve, a curve on this one, make it a bit brighter, and brush it in a little bit. And yeah, I think if you would increase the contrast overall, you would like come even closer to this result. But in general, this is the light setup for this product. And it is kind of normal that when you work with product renderings or product images in general, or also if you are a photographer and you work with product images, most cases, most product photographers that I know always use Photoshop in the end for a little bit of post-production, because it's very unlikely to create the perfect image just with Blender, only with Blender in 3D. I mean, maybe there are some pros out there, I don't know, I guess yes. There are always some people that are even crazier than others. But as far as my experience goes, I always have to put it into Photoshop in the end and increase like colors, dynamics, do a little bit of retouching, not very much. Not much. The most part is of course done in 3D or in the studio, but a little bit of post-production is never a bad idea. But you see, this is what you can do. So guys, if you really enjoyed this video and if you learned something from it, please be so kind as to write a comment and leave a like and share it with people that are like-minded and also interested in 3D Blender product images and whatever. I thank you for watching, and I would say let's have another drum session maybe? Maybe. Okay, alright. Goodbye.
Oh, was passiert.